maybe you don't believe me. Maybe you have your own opinions. Maybe you feel like these companies are super loyal to you. Maybe you feel like, hey, you know, it can never happen to you. Well, today, my account is temporarily on hold. That's why I got my glasses on, because I was working today. You know, a hat, you know what I'm saying? I'm out here working, trying to make this money. And I had one passenger. One passenger. That's all it took. One passenger today. Now, mind you, I've done 10,000 rides. Highly tipped driver. If you're in the Telegram group, you know that I post screenshots of how many times I'm tipped. I am pretty often tipped. I create an experience. It's more to it. For me, I value customer service. All of the above. You guys watch my videos, so you know. So when I get this one passenger that decides to report me, one passenger is all it took. And now Uber and Lyft are, quote unquote, performing an investigation. Now you tell me, so they're performing an investigation. So what you think they're doing? Are they going back through the cameras? Do they have access to the data? Do they have access to my car and watching the video feed? Are they listening to the guy's phone? I don't know, but they are performing an investigation to see what happened. And according to them, once they see what happened, then they'll make a decision, or maybe I'll get my account back and I can go back to working. But until they make their decision, until they perform their investigation, I'm basically screwed. There's nothing that I can do. I just gotta wait. I'm stuck like Chuck. And this is why my whole channel isn't about the negative things of Uber and Lyft. It's not about the pay. It's not about, oh my gosh, the offers. It's not about all of that. Because so many people get stuck on per ride. Okay, per ride. This ride sucks. It's $5 for 9 miles. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with Uber? Why would they ever give me something like that? And they lose track of what we really do this for. I don't do Uber and Lyft to promote Uber and Lyft. I'm sorry, I don't. If you do, then that's on you. I can't talk about what other people do. I can only talk about what I do. I do Uber and Lyft because it's paying my bills. So what that means, in other words, what I'm saying is, I'm not promoting Uber and Lyft. I'm promoting myself. My bills need to be paid, so I go work. If my bills don't need to be paid, then I don't work. It's very simple for me. So what I also understand is that I don't do any marketing when I turn on these apps. Uber and Lyft does the marketing. So these are Uber and Lyft's customers. So as you know, as anybody knows in the hospitality industry or just generally, the customer is always right. And in these types of situations, when it's you against a customer, guess who they're going to go with? Because what does the customer care? If they deactivate the customer, you're just going to find another account or go on Lyft, and now they're losing money. But they deactivate me, they got 15, 20 different people that's willing to take the $5 for 9 miles. They got 15 different people that's willing to do the same thing that I was doing. Probably, obviously, to a less customer service perspective, but who cares? They're willing to take people from point A to point B, and that's all that matters. Because remember, Uber is just a technology company. So you guys get it twisted and think, oh my gosh, Uber is this big giant, and which rightfully so they are, in the sense of they're a billion-dollar company, multi-billion-dollar company. Not just 1, 2, 3 billion, they're 60, 70, 80 billion. And they're doing transactions. Listen, it can blow your mind. It's a lot of money on the line. It's a lot of money on the line. So for people like me, I'm just a driver. I'm just a little old guy with glasses, with shades on, a black hat, and I'm driving in a Tesla. They don't care about me. So again, when you do Uber and Lyft, when you get into the gig economy, you got to think about it from the perspective not of what y'all be talking about. Oh my gosh, it's $5 for 9 miles. Oh my gosh, I would never do that. Oh, it's a 16-minute pickup. Oh my gosh, I can't do that. Oh, these offers are trash. They used to pay $8 for 9 miles. Now they're paying $5 for 9 miles. Why would I ever take that? No, you can't do that. What you got to do today, in today's age, you got to look at it like, okay, I am trying to get a down payment for my car. How am I going to do that? I could take the money, you know, if you have a W-2, I could take the money out of my paycheck, which is already allocated to my bills, you know, house, rent, insurance, car note. You already got that money allocated somewhere. So yeah, you can take more money from that pot that's already being allocated. Because, you know, and don't beat me up, most Americans, again, I said Americans, most Americans live paycheck to paycheck. You don't believe me? The pandemic is what showed us that most Americans live paycheck to paycheck. So again, I'm not talking off of opinions, talking off of facts. Most people were struggling during the pandemic because most people don't have 6-7 months of income sitting in the bank. They just don't. We spend what we make. It's the American society, right? Go big or go home. We spend what we earn. Listen, look, I'm a part of the community. When we get paid, we think about what we can buy, not what we can invest in, not what savings account we're going to put the money in. It's like, no. I could go buy that TV now, or I could go buy that chair now. I could go buy them glasses now. I could go buy that car now. I could go get a better house, a better, you know, that's what we think about with our money, which again, I'm not mad at it. It's just a realistic thing. So when you're doing Uber and Lyft, these types of things can happen very quickly. And literally all it took was one passenger. I've taken 8 passengers. 8 people. I had one tip, but you know, sometimes people tip later on. And I had 2 cancellations. The one cancellation was the person that reported me. And I don't know, probably the second one is going to report me too. Who knows? Look, all it takes, because you gotta understand the game. Passengers, these people that's taking Ubers, they know it's expensive. Just because they're not paying us as drivers doesn't mean that it's cheap for the passengers. Uber X rides are still expensive. Yeah, they may be paying you $5 to go 9 miles, but the passenger paid $25. That's a lot of money. Yeah, they might be paying you $10 to go, I don't know, 19 miles, but the passenger paid $40. You got to understand that just because we see it one way doesn't mean that that's the whole part of the story. Uber and Lyft do this thing where they intentionally leave and they intentionally mislead you. They mislead you by not giving you all of the details. They're not super transparent. Look, I already know who did it. But if you look in this screenshot, right? You see, I'll probably put it over here again. If you look in the screenshot, you can see it gives you a general date. It doesn't tell you, hey, at 5:58 p.m., this passenger that you picked up from 15th Street, they got into an altercation with you and we're investigating it. You see how general it is? They say on a range from the 21st to the 23rd. So all of you guys that have a dash cam, you tell me, how are you going to know which clip to send Uber and Lyft? You just got to know. You just got to understand, okay, which passenger that I have an issue with, which passenger was the one that canceled on me, which passenger was the one that I believe would potentially report me, which one, I'll go ahead and show them. That's how you do it. That's the only way you could do it, because otherwise you wouldn't know. And they have the information because obviously as soon as they reported me, I got deactivated or potentially on hold. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm completely deactivated, but it could be, you know. And again, this is the whole point of this video. All it takes is one passenger. One. That's it. One passenger can end your Uber career. Remember, I'm deactivated from Amazon for 3 packages. 3. 1, 2, 3. That's it. I was with Amazon for 2 years. Y'all know I did a ton of deliveries. I had a ton of routes. I used to get a route basically every other morning. I was doing at least 2, 3 routes a week. So if we could just take 2 times 52, that's what, 94 routes? 94 routes. They were giving me almost 40 packages, 94 times 40. You get the point. That's a lot of packages that I delivered. But all it took was 3 packages that caused me to be deactivated. And I'm completely deactivated. On Amazon, there's no going back. There's nobody that I could talk to. All I can do is file an appeal and hope and cross my fingers that they'll let me back on the platform. No. I mean, it is what it is. So this is why I tell you guys, look, you got to think outside the box. Don't just think about the offer, the contract, quote unquote. Don't just think about the money. Okay, it's $5 for 9 miles. That's cool. You know, maybe you're listening to YouTubers that are telling you how to cherry pick and all of that stuff. That's cool. But understand that you have to have a goal. You have to have a purpose when you get on these platforms. By that, I mean something ultimate. Look, I'm only doing this to pay down my debt. I'm only doing this to pay for a down payment for the car. I'm only doing this to get a better house. I'm only doing this to, I don't know, go on a vacation. I'm only doing this to take the burden off of my main income. Because what happens is you get comfortable. You get comfortable and you rely on these companies and you rely on Uber and Lyft. And then you get a message like this. One passenger. One passenger is all it took. And that one passenger is what caused me to be, quote unquote, potentially deactivated right now, today. And there's nothing that I can do. And you see in the notes, I mean, I would blow it up a little bit, but you see how it says, I can't call customer support. I can't go to a green light hub. So basically what they're saying is, you got to wait on us. And if we decide that we'll let you on after we perform our investigation, again, what is the investigation? Everybody that critically thinks, what can they actually investigate? If they don't have access to our phones, if they didn't record the conversation, if they weren't there, because obviously it's a technology company, what are they investigating? Normally, when you say you're investigating something, you're getting both sides, you're reviewing the tapes, you're listening to the conversation, but they don't have any of that information. And why does it take, it's going to probably take a couple days before they come back to me. So if my light bill is due, if my rent is due, and I only got Uber, I'm stuck. All because of one passenger. This is the power of those reports, if you're not thinking outside the box. So, yeah, I done rambled, but I hope you guys get it. I hope the message is very clear. But yeah, with that being said, I'm out of here. Deuces.